Which screen do you guys, am I sharing or am I not sharing? You guys there? Anyone there?
Yeah, I got it. Your screen's on.
You guys see the toss?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's just look at the market overall. We'll do naked first, and then we'll go. I just don't know why it's super slow. Like super slow. What's going on here? I'm just checking to see if my connection is really bad, or do you see that my chart levels are just like now popping up? I'll just restart toss again. One second, I'm sorry, I just don't know why it's so slow. Is anyone's toss like super slow today, or?
I traded from mobile today.
It's not even recognizing my password now. All right, let's see if it's better now. All right, that's much better now. Here we go. Sorry guys, that took a little bit. Didn't know what's going on. Can you guys see okay now? Yes, no?
Yeah, see it.
All right, so let's just do, so we have a nice double bottom here, I mean triple bottom, so this was a nice demand here. If you guys look at it, previously this was a nice area here for support, and now it's still kind of holding here. You guys see it? So if we zoom in here, it's basically borderline holding on. Has a nice bear flag, which I think we won't get to see tonight. It's going to be broken. So there's a little bear flag on it. And this guy here, let me just check 1 hour. So yeah, that's a perfect bear flag here in 1 hour. Let's see, how's the daily looking? So we've had some support here before. Let's see. Going naked trading here a little bit. Okay. I mean, they really, really have to get out of here. They have to get out of the zone. You guys, have anyone ever taught you to do this? You connect the previous highs like this. You guys see this? But you guys see that? Basically what I'm doing is I'm pre-COVID high here. I'm connecting these to see if there's any support that's going to be coming. And there is support coming here about 12,787. Kind of lines up with the support level here. So that might be a really, really good bounce here. Might be coming here. I'll do the channel. Then we'll look at some epochs after this. Yeah, so this would be ideal spot here if we get it to go long to flip. Okay, we got that. So we'll just look at some real quickly epochs. Okay, now we got a couple here. And you guys notice the supply right here that's working pretty well. Is this one right here, obviously. So if you look at this supply zone here, and I'm just grabbing the value area high to that gap here, if you guys look. I just grabbed this to the, can make it a little bit smaller. So now if you look to the right, this is going to be a future also nice, really nice supply zone here. So the way you can play this in the future, whenever it comes up in here, there's a strong chance that you can take this to the short side every time it comes to here, till you see, you know, a huge candle coming in here, like you see here how it looks beautiful coming in, and then you see on 30 minutes just an inside bar, and then it breaks that, and then it just kind of continues down. So you can play this zone till it breaks out, and then once it breaks out, we look for a new one, and you see congestion here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 days in consolidation about that level right here, which means we're going to have another supply here. It's going to be contraction between the prices. So here, if you look at this, here's your another supply zone being created. And I'm grabbing the high value area and low value area here off of this one, which is almost perfect here. So this one would be a epoch here. What is that? 2.8. And sometimes it's just good to refresh the chart completely, delete everything, start all over, just so you have the clear picture of what's going on. So here's another one. And I'm just zooming in to see where do I grab it. And it looks like it's almost up here to here. So this will be a epoch 3-2. Okay. We got this guy sorted out. This is a huge level here, guys. This is so big right here. And we're right below it right now. That needs to be reclaimed. So it's definitely a POC, but if reclaimed, you can go long on this. That's how I would play it. Reclaim, retest long on this. This is a key level for you to go long. There's a nice little fall volume. We'll just go over the little reddish. Dear God, what is that? So reclaim, go long, then make sure that these levels I'm not missing. So this is POC from 311. That was Friday's POC. And you guys see how that supply zone looks pretty good. So if you're looking for this distribution around the volume, this looks so good right here. You guys see it? Hopefully it makes sense. So we're kind of pinned here right now. And then what I check, as you guys know, I'll come here, make sure that I'm not getting any surprises. Now let's look at the clouds real quick. Where's the daily? Ooh, come on. Oh, it's doing the down. So it's inside a daily cloud right now. Yep. So there's your daily. We'll just go in 15 minutes. So you guys can see it. There's your daily top. There's your middle, which is also our supply zone, which is a perfect supply zone here. And here's our daily bottom here, which is a 13.1. So we know we are on a daily bottom. If it breaks the daily bottom, the bottom line here, what is it? 12,860. I mean, we're in trouble. Like big trouble. And not that we're not already, but so we rejected. We're outside of the weekly here. And then the 4 hours is setting up for a nice backdoor here at 13,110. So you really can be bullish once it reclaims. Looks like that daily pivot and our retest is almost at the same level. I was going to say 13,188, and this is 13,149. So that would be good here. Go up here, retest, come back, and then we take the long if in case that happens. Okay, so I think this one's good. And then what I usually typically do is, once I see the profile created in the morning, I'll just go ahead and hide this one so I can see the candles and see all of this simply like this. Any questions on this one?
Nope, thank you.
Now let's look at ES. So ES, we have pretty good levels. But like I said, never bad to just kind of take it all out. So 4 hours, you can't ignore this. I mean, you got to be able to recognize this quickly. So you can go two ways. There's one right here, or you can go on this full send and connect it. I prefer to do it here. And what I'm trying to do is catch this peak here on the bottom. Oh man, this does not look good. I mean, if it can reclaim this level right here, which is about 41.9, 4,200 would be nice. Let's see the volume here. So reclaim. And the volume is picking up. There's a nice bear flag on ES as well. The only thing I can see here is if you guys look at this price action on, I believe the 65 minutes that I'm on, even if I switch to 1 hour. So we hit the bottom of the channel here and we had a support, which is your channel support. The next channel support would be around somewhere 3,900, 3,980s, 3,990s. So it really needs to reclaim this level and hopefully bounce, like dips here, goes to the 41.39, 41.40, bounces. Otherwise, it has a little bit of an issue. And then here, if you look, you have a nice channel as well. So, and it's okay if you draw multiple channels within channels. So there's no rule around it. You can change the colors if you like. Okay. So we know that's an intraday channel, orange one, and then the white one's the big channel there. And then you guys see that you have a major resistance here that's going to be present on this line. So the way we can play it is once it reclaims the channel here, the 50%, we can go long on that, which would be around, I would say, reclaim of this level here. It looks like more and more 4,200. Yes, let's see what our main profile says. So we had a double bottom here before. You guys see that? So this was your double bottom break here. If you guys see, there was one, there's two. Here's your neckline. And if you mark this level or attempt to, like right here, you see how this level became kind of like support in the future. They came here resistance. They came back, retested it. They came back. And now if you zoom in, you see how it made higher lows from here to here, but it's still that level that it's bouncing off of. And now it came back and it's still trying to hold that level, 41.64, which is a pretty important level right now. So that's how you determine kind of as you move forward, the importance of levels and how the price action is responding. Usually when you see double bottom like that on ES or SPX, those tend to play out and they tend to run a lot. This is just a nasty little supply zone here. That we rejected today. Yeah. So this is just a POC. That'd be 3.8. Goes a little trick for the rectangle. I'm just writing some notes so I know what these levels are. When I look at it, I'll know that it's a double bottom of somewhere right here. Double bottom support. So if we lose that, we're dropping 20 points. And then we drop that, we're dropping another 50 points. And then below 410, we have some room to go. It looks like we're recovering a little bit, but let's see. Any questions on ES so far? Okay. All right, so that looks like the 4,200 level. Just want to see the volume profile distribution. That's a pretty stacked volume profile here. It's a B-shaped volume profile. Usually when you have a B shape like this, what I mean by that, it looks kind of like letter B, if you guys see it here. Try my best to draw with this. That usually indicates eventually it's going to become a demand zone and you're going to bounce from this level. And the way usually volume profile works, if you read the books about it, or just follow the price action, is usually it's going to break it and come back for a retest. A lot of people buy the retest on these things. So for instance, I'm on 30 minutes here. If you bought this breakout here and the retest came, I mean, you could have caught this move right here for almost a % move on ES. I mean, that's a lot. And then you see here, reclaim, and then again, retest, and then you another 1% here. And then you have another one here, broke it, retest, and then you had about 2.4% move here. So now this level is was pretty important, 4195. You guys see that they came back, retested it. Then it struggled here, came back. So this means here, this little wick means that it came back there and it rejected. So what do you guys think is going to happen when it comes back here again? There's a high chance that it's going to be the resistance now because it was support, such a strong support before that we might reject there. Are you guys following so far? Okay. I'll take that as a yes. So then, I mean, you just kind of follow along and mark your levels. So this is your POC. This is an important level. What is that? 3.3. You guys see how well this one worked? Look at this. It was, I mean, it hit it here and it came back and then it rejected it again. Pretty nice. I like when I see stuff like that. So when something is, just a kind of advice here, when something is really small, like this value area here, what I tend to do is make this kind of like the supply zone here. It's just that we have a lot here, like you see, like, I mean, there's no room. So that's the only reason why I'm just making this a line here, but it's a stacked level here. So let's see, what is this? POC 3.2. So good question. The way you look at it is if you pay attention to volume. So you see here on this hit here, and if you go down, look at the volume, right? If you pay attention to the volume, I mean, it had a pretty nice volume here, it picked up a lot. I mean, when you compare it to the previous days, there was more volume selling than this one here. And then towards the end of the day, the volume picked. Then when we come here, second time, you see now the volume is a little bit less, right? If you compare, where's the arrow? If you compare this to this, you see that there's a slope that it's coming down between those two hits. And then even the end of the day candle here, if you look at it, which would be this one, compared to the end of the day candle here, seems like that there was a lot less volume. There's a nice slope here. You see it coming down. Now it didn't really come to the full reset here, but I think what this is telling you is that there's a little bit of bears being exhausted here. I think we're gonna get a nice run here soon. I think it might happen tomorrow. I don't think they're gonna care about the Feds too much tomorrow. So I think tomorrow, end of the day, we might lead into a rally for 2 days, including Wednesday itself. Okay. Another thing that I've been testing, while I'm trying to get the baby to sleep, is value area retests, and it's actually pretty efficient. So what I've started doing is, if there's a nice value area, so I usually just mark a fresh value area high. And what that means for me is there was a high value area here, meaning that you can look, if it comes up to this level, that you can almost look for a rejection. And then usually what you'll see is, you probably guys see it here, there's a volume gap here, skinny belly around it, right? So for me, this would be a nice rejection, which would kind of line up here with this channel that we have drawn. So I'll definitely watch this tomorrow, 4211, because it could trap people over that 4195 POC, over the psych level of 4200, and then go to 4211 and reject there. And that's something that I'll keep an eye on. And then, of course, we have that 4241 level that we're going to watch as well. So that's enough for ES. Okay, SPY, I'm just going to remove all of these levels. Let me remove full send just for a second, because I gotta get rid of these numbers. I just don't like messy shit. So if you guys look at this, it's pretty crazy. So here's our channel here on 1 hour. 4 hours should be much cleaner than this. Yep. Okay. This is pretty nice. What I was telling you guys about last training, this is pretty good here. So that candle right here, the indecision candle before the drop, will act as a major resistance here for trying to capture the top of this candle here. This will act as a major resistance for SPY moving forward. The 440 level, 441, that'll be a major level. And then also what it does, if you guys think about the structure, right? So we're definitely high, lower low, lower high. We made some higher lows here, right? So you guys see it. We made a lower low, higher low here, and then we made a higher high compared to this one. And then we made, if you compare this one to this one, we made a lower low here. So this was, for a lot of people, including myself, this would be an entry to go short. And then usually what happens is that most people, if you enter here on a short, where's your stop loss? Does anyone know where your stop loss would be? Okay, so your stop loss when you're playing like this would be right here, that you want to use that as your stop loss. If you're entering the break of the previous low, you use this one, or you can use, if you think about these candles right here, that can be your stop loss. So here you're giving a little room, right? So if you think about the difference, 452 for, let's say, $9 for purpose of math. But if you target at the bottom of this channel, let's say if you drew a channel from here to here, just going off of these two touches, So this would be your target 411. Your entry is 443. That's $32 drop for $9 risk. That's a pretty good trade. So just keep that in mind when you're kind of trading, right? That risk reward levels, you want to be aware of those. I'll delete this for now until we see where the true demand zone is. Oh, much easier to wipe it all out. Okay. Okay. All right. So we got a little bit of congestion here. I just want to see the levels now in SPY because a lot of you guys were saying. So this is a POC from Friday, 424. That's not that bad. I mean, it moved at about 26 cents. That's something I can live with because that stays within my demand zone. I'm just waiting for SA to answer now here. Huh, that's interesting. Okay, so let's just look at this real quick here. All right, so we have a good level here for the supply zone. Okay, this zone will be retested here, 436. This will definitely be retested. It'll be soon too. So this will definitely be. I just think how many this do. So this is where I go overthinking. So I'm looking at this zone here. It's been a very good zone. And then I'm looking at this zone here. It's been a pretty good zone. And then you have almost 5 POCs in the area. It's almost like this whole thing becomes your major supply zone here. Kind of getting the average to be here, 436. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5x POC on this guy. And then you can see that this POC here is the reason where it rejected twice on SPY. So it hit this level, 432, which is POC off of Monday. And then you have another rejection here. 2, 3, 4, 5. They're really taking it to SPY right now. You guys see how much buying occurred here? You guys see that? Buying. And look how much you guys just see from green to how much dominance in red's been noticed here. If you go from here to here, it's almost like green, orange, red. And now we're starting to get a little bit of green here picking up. Not a lot, but this was predominantly red here. Red. A little bit of green, a little bit of green here. I honestly think tomorrow this becomes your, if you guys look at this, that's why I said mark your latest like fresh VAH right here. And this is today's. So the fresh name on the top of the shade. Yes, that's correct. Yep. There's a 68%. So this kind of lines up here, so I usually just remove it. We have these labels, but I just like to label it. Okay, well, SPY reclaimed the 4-hour bottom here, which is good. So look at the 11 o'clock where we rejected the POC 311, pretty much on the money. Rejected the 4-hour middle. That's definitely a sign for shorting. But then you see here, there was a divergence on histogram selling pressure. So there was obvious bounce here that was coming at 415. It was a good bounce too. I mean, 415 to about 418. That's pretty good. There's a lot of momentum here towards the end of the day right now on buying side. We can say that this is very close to 4-hour mid. It's about a couple of cents away. So that lines up almost with the 4-hour mid, which is good. Then I check the daily. Okay, whoo. You guys see this? It's a double tap on the daily bottom. Yep. So a perfect rejection. Again, you guys see it here. Perfect rejection here on the daily mid, 4-hour mid, and we had the POC. Where was that POC? Right here. So rejection here the day before, then the 4-hour mid with this POC, and then they lost the daily weekly pivot. So it was pretty obvious. I would not be shocked that we run to 423 tomorrow. And you can remind me tomorrow, but I'm pretty sure we're going to do that. If we dip to about, if we do decide to dip to about 410 or whatnot, I would not be shocked that we make a $12 run. Just be ready for it, that's all. And another thing I just noticed real quick is remember the double bottom earlier. So here's your double bottom here as well. And you can treat these necklines. Excuse me, there's a neckline here, which is also, excuse me, which is also important here because once it loses it, you know, it becomes support. But here it lost it, it became resistance. So something just to pay attention to when you look at the price action, right? And I'm on ashy candles here, so not the best for a price action, but here. So this level here rejected. Once that lost, you can pretty much short it. But yeah, we're going to get a little bit of push here. It's a nice looking 1 hour candle here. And then the last thing we check. So the daily bottom is right here, which is pretty good, right above PDL. And it looks like it's telling us that the weekly chart here is telling us that we're going to go. So if you look at this, I just change this to maybe 1 hour or something. So here's your weekly cloud. So at the bottom of it's 419.41, which if it jumps to it, then you can see what happens when it goes outside for it the first time. What happens to it is here it comes back, retests, and you guys see it. It will struggle with this cloud till it reclaims 427. It really needs to reclaim this and close above it. But you can expect a rejection here tomorrow. And I will definitely mark this as a level here. So we'll definitely watch this here. And you guys see here, just want to point something out. When could you go long here? If you're just looking at this chart, hopefully somebody's awake. When could you go long on this chart? There's something that's telling you you can go long once you reclaim this level based on the past action that occurred. If you look all the way to the right or left, anytime this level got reclaimed, you're able to go long. Anyone have an idea what it is? Okay, what about the trend bar, the 1 hour trend bar? You see it here? Anytime it got reclaimed, you got a couple of points. I mean, reclaim, gone, reclaim. I mean, you got from 421 to 423.5, and it held it, and then when it ran another $2, lost it, and now maybe it reclaims it. Can you guys hear me or?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. All right, so I think that's enough for SPY. Q's levels are just beautiful as they are. I'm not even going to touch these. We reclaim 320, we're going to go probably 328 tomorrow. So pretty simple. We have a little bit of bullish divergence. You guys see it? So there was bearish divergence here when they hit it and it got played out, and now it's totally played out. But here's a little bit of bullish divergence that's building up here in the histogram. So the extreme selling here does not equate to the selling here. So if you're able to reclaim that 320.71 and that lines up, I'll definitely go along here. Wow, this is crazy. Yeah. This has a lot of potential if it decides to go. So below 317. Excuse me.
So below 37, well, 315, it's got the gap to fill to 297 is what this is showing.
Yep. Has a nice little gap. About to just check the cues here. Yeah, there's a nice bullish divergence here of 4 hours. I think people are about to be shocked what's about to happen to the puts. You see this? This is pretty nice divergence here building up. I would not be shocked if we rip tomorrow. Okay, so I think that's Q. Let me just check something on this guy. See if there's anything needs updating. So that matches the value area high here. This no longer a VPOC here. The POC. The demand. Okay, so we got a nice little supply zone here. Well, that is well, that POC right here matches up with the daily bottom last Tuesday, which would have been the 8th. Okay, and then when you take all of it off, looks pretty good. So we'll know if we go over here, we come here, over that, we go to 328, over that, 336, and so on. And you can tell here in 30 minutes, it's kind of ready to pop. So you'll see this. Let's see how it plays out. You can definitely watch this tomorrow. If this happens, where do you guys think it goes? If this was to play out, what would be your target?
I'm sorry, what was that?
If this wedge was to break, what's your target?
328.
It'd be 336. We had the same thing happen today. That's what I was posting you guys today. Well, I had the rising wedge today. I don't know what happened to it. Let me see. It was 5 minutes. Yeah, there it goes. So this was what I posted to you guys today. If you guys remember, does anyone recall? This is what I posted in chat a few times to give you guys warning that it was happening. And then my first target was pretty much this bottom here. That happened and it hit to a penny. That's where I closed out quite a bit. My puts, and then you could have played this. So does everybody know what kind of day this was?
I don't know.
So you had a range here, which is 420, 4.5, let's call it, and then you had a range here, which is 419. Anyone know what kind of day it is?
If I were to take a guess, I'd say sideways, but I honestly don't know.
Not sideways. Not range day. So if you read, it's an extended typical day. That's correct. Extended typical, typical versus extended typical. So if I was to, let me see if I can bring this up. I'm just going to show you guys. If you look at SPY today, where's 9:30? Here's 9:30. So this was the range that was set, right? And then this was the bottom of it that what did we use over there? We used 940. That can't be right. The 940 was the low. Oh my God, the time zone is wrong. I'm like, this does not make sense. Holy crap, there's so many. Okay. Sorry, it just threw me off a little bit. I was about to say, like, how is this possible? Okay, yeah, there. So this was your initial balance low, and this is your initial balance high. So if you look at this range, right, it's a pretty decent range. I mean, you're looking at, about $5.44. So the typical day, the price would never have gone and broken this below. It would have gone here, and then it would have just chopped around and stayed in this range. What happens on extended typical day typically what happens is between 2 and 4 p.m., you will get a break to the downside or the upside of the typical day range. Wide bounce in the open. I mean, this is pretty wide. If you ask me on SPY, $5 swing, it's pretty high. And then it comes back here, traps some shorts here. This is a typical trap. And then what you should do is you're not shorting no more off of the initial balance low. You're shorting off of the trap level here. So once this was broken, this is where you can go long. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, and then, if you do initial balance low to high here, you'll see that you can probably predict some levels on where to take profits. So 417 hit perfectly, reject, danced on it a few times, reject. Now if it reclaims that, that's pretty good. Then it has 415, 411, and 409. So I mean, just kind of simply looking at the market, right? So does this make sense? It's more of a, kind of like a pattern in a day, right? So if you see, let's find, so here's your open on this day, right? So honestly, this is kind of like your open right here. This seems to be the range. And then this was your high here for this day here, which was, I guess, what day is today? Monday. This was Friday, right? Yeah. This was Thursday here. And then here's your Friday range. And if you look at it, this was your range for Friday. You just kind of separate these days. So if you look at the range for this day right here, it was pretty tight. You can say that this was the range. There was open, bounced, came back. Then, you had a break of that low, which was good. I mean, 422 to all the way to 420. Nice range. And then you see how they reclaimed and they were fighting with the bears and the bulls here. And usually what happens is that you'll have like a little consolidation on every time that this happens. So let me just kind of show you. So if you look here, every time you have a reclaim level here, you're going to have a consolidation. And what I typically do, and probably you guys know that, is if I look at something like this and I'm seeing that there's a big order. So in order for this volume and this candle to look this big, there has to be an order that's sold quite a bit to push the price down, or if they manipulated it. So as you guys know, for me, I like to use this candle to be basically the demand zone and the breakout level for the future, right? So here they come back very close to testing, and then you see here they came in perfect test and bounced it. So these levels come in handy as you're kind of trading. And you see here rejection again, came back, reclaim, lost, rejection. So now you can almost expect this level to play out again. And I think even on ThinkOrSwim, we found that 422 level. I think it was the daily bottom, or 4-hour mid here, 422.32. But does the ranges make sense? So this was a good range. Some people could have said that the range was here as well, which it could be. So if you mark this range, there's no wrong answer. It's more art than science, right? So this would have been your range, 425 to 420. And I mean, you didn't break this range or trap some people here till late, literally 10 minutes before the close. So this could be that it was a typical day here, but he did have a nice little consolidation right here. I just don't see the distribution, double distribution day here. And then here, obviously, this was your range low, this was your range high. I mean, it was pretty obvious what they're doing here. Okay. And then the range here is pretty high, so this was extended typical day. This one's pretty clear here. Hopefully this makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense for sure.
And knowing the type of days, guys, it literally will make it will make you 50% better trader. If you just think back and you're like, okay, well, I think there's a way to do this. Separate the days. If anyone knows. Where the hell is it? Maybe not. Okay, maybe not. I don't know. Okay, so but you can figure this fairly easy, like, right? I mean, you find the balance open, you find the high, right? So this was the open high, like instant open high. I mean, even if you want to trade before 10 o'clock, so here's your high, here's your low that was set immediately, right? Sure, you broke this, wait for the retest. I'll most likely come back. Even if I grab this candle here, look at the retest here. Came back and then exploded higher. I mean, it went 422 to 424.5. So this is pretty good. Okay, there's session break. This is good. Thank you. So this kind of tells you, like, okay, well, my initial balance, immediate balance was here, and then the bulls. I mean, what it means psychologically is this is an important level for bulls. They want to hold this level. As soon as they lose this level, they're in trouble. And anyone will tell you, if you ask any trader, if you don't trust me, this is a pretty safe short right here that I was marking for you guys pretty much all day today for some time. But this was pretty good to take here for short side. And the bottom balance would be your first target. And this is literally where I closed a lot of my SPY puts. I had 400 of them that I kept buying. I bought some here, bought some here, bought some here. I just kept averaging down till it hit. Does that make sense? Okay. Well, and then I just can't not notice it. So if you look at these levels right here, you have a nice indecision candle here, and then you see a big sell order, big candle, impulsive order that came in. So if you think about this, and if you just kind of go over this level here, this will be your level that they're going to be targeting to sell in the future. And then if you look at the next, you see how it came here, and then another sell-off triggered from that level. There's probably, if you look to the left here, and you see how well the zone's held, pretty much, I drew it from the right to the left, which is not something that's recommended, but you see that order was dictating a lot of price action even to the left. So that tells you that there's some power behind, like, even look at this now. So if I grab this, I'm trying to grab this candle right here as a length. Look at this right here. So if you look right here, look at this range here. You guys see this right now? So 424 to 425 was your range. You needed to go above this to really make a dent, and then it would probably do something like this. If it did this, it would have played out like this basically. And then you don't buy this. You buy this piece right here. You don't care about the first initial break. You don't get too excited. You hold on to your emotions, Josh. You don't buy this shit. You wait for this buy here to make sure that you're loaded on that one. People that buy here eventually become non-profitable traders. So this is typically how I look at it. And you guys can see the zone here kind of accumulating. Look at this. Everything's in between these levels. I mean, look at this. Does this make sense? Or I don't know. To me, it's so simple that
Basically, don't take any plays in between that channel, as we were saying, right?
Yeah, I mean, here you really don't take any trades right here till, you know, if you're buying a trade in between these levels, that's not good. You want to buy on top, and now we're going to find the bottom to see what we can, you know, kind of trade it off of. So here's your, I mean, look at this now. You see this range? I mean, it just popped up. Here, I mean, I'm just looking at candles, guys. I'm not looking at anything else that you guys don't have. Look at this. I grabbed this one. And I'll just grab this guy here. This right here is an anomaly, I guess. This happened at 9:30. You guys know I don't. So here, so now we have 418 in between. You also have a little bit of another zone here. So you see this 415 holding. So below 415.3, you're going to 4311. And then you have supposedly some buyers here. Hopefully it's real at 410, which is just a round number. So this area here is your critical area that it needs to hold if it wants to do some, you know, reversals. It needs to, okay. It needs to really hold this area here. Below that, we can short it. And I'm just showing you guys what's in my head, like price action trading, relevant to watch list now. I'm just looking at consolidation zones. I'm looking to see, and where our repots and POCs come into play is that they help us identify those with deadly accuracy. You don't have to stare at the price action. If I just do this, I'm able to VPS. I mean, look, you see how deadly that is? I mean, you have a POC that's building up there. You have a POC here, and look at the rejection. See it? Like right here, it's rejecting on that candle. And then you have this POC, which is 418.4, and it's kind of telling you the prices. And look at the rejection right here, guys. Perfect rejection there. You had another POC here. So when you have POCs that are in the prices below it like this, there's going to be a strong supply, guys. I mean, it's going to be super duper strong supply. I mean, look at this level right here. So 427.49. Let's see, what's this? 435. I mean, just plot them and see, like, where's the price overlapping? And the more overlaps it gets, the stronger the level. And you don't necessarily have to keep them all, but it'll give you an idea, like, how choppy it's going to get between these levels. So look at this. Here, I'm just marking every literally single one here for the purpose of showing you guys. And you see how here there's a little bit more space than there is on the top side. There's a lot more sellers involved there. Here's every literally POC that you have here. And you can literally just play these breaks. You break it, you go to the next one. You break it, you go to the next one. Hopefully that makes sense. But it's all about patience and waiting rather than, you know, just getting into trades with no plan or something like that. Okay. All right. Any questions from anyone? Any particular charts you guys want to see, want to look at?
Can you check out AMD?
Yep. Is it below 100? Nope.
Nope, not yet.
Yep. So here's a chart for it. So our first short, I believe yesterday we had it. We had a chart. I think I had a chart. Yeah. So this was AMD. So we had this level here charted. This is no longer. Yeah, this is just a POC now. And this is no longer. I think there's two of them. Okay. I don't know why they're doing that. But let's see what the sessions say for today. Yep, so you do have a VPOC here now. So we'll remove this old one and go away. So this is from Friday. Is this Friday? Yeah. So this will definitely act as a magnet, right? So if we're able to reclaim that 103.25, there's a high chance we go to 105. And I think that's where we reject. Yeah, that's where we rejected off of this area here. And then we have the 110 level. So you have this 104 here, which try and see how the price reacted to it. Doesn't seem like it cared much about it. Yeah, really not much was given to this one. But yeah, this is, I mean, if it goes below 100, we have 97. Below 97, we have 91. I would definitely short it below 100. I mean, eyes closed, I would short it. And here's AMD when it broke the 117. That was an easy one. What other one? Does this help with your AMD, or do you need me to cover something else?
No, that's perfect.
Anyone else? Any tickers you want to cover? It's your time. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I think that's it for me. Hopefully covers. I think tomorrow we can mainly play. I'm looking for SPY. I like the setup on AMD. I don't know if NVIDIA went below 210 or not. It's right there. It has a nice bear flag gap. So NVIDIA is going to 104. Yeah, NVIDIA is headed there. It's going to go to the demand zone. What did I draw here? Oh. So we have a nice demand zone here that's building up at 104. Well, let's call it 205 on NVIDIA. So if we catch this bear flag tomorrow morning, which I doubt that they're going to give it to us, this would be really, really good short. And if you guys look at it, just simple rule. Just because it broke, you guys see this? I just want to make sure everybody understands this. Just because it broke this flag, you do not take this risk. You see this little risk right there, the little piece? Does everybody understand what I'm pointing at? Like the little gap between the trend line and the rectangle. There's no reason for any trader to take this risk. Why take this risk? I mean, think about it. You're like from here 212 to like look at this. It's $1. Like perfectly $1. Like what is it worth? Like it's not worth much for me. It's much easier to trade that 211, take that break, then measure this guy. Measure this guy from the top to here. So this is a nice bear flag now, right? So if you look at this, you know, I don't try to be perfect on these, but so here's a nice bear flag. You see it, nice pull, nice flag, and now all you have to do is measure it, right? So if it goes to here, that's 4.5%. Then from the break, and you measure it from this break, and then you go 485. Okay. Wow, this is the first time in my life I got it right. Okay. So it kind of lines up with 202, right? If this was to break, I'd rather wait for that $1 and catch the rest of the move, which would be $10 that gets stopped out over the dollar, and then it reverses and then it goes off. Just because it's a bear flag doesn't mean it has to play out. Yes, good question. You always take the short at the tip of the flag level. You talking about on the top? If this price action was, let's say, to bounce here and it goes here and it creates, let's say, kind of like a hammer candle in here, the wick goes outside. Oh yeah, I take that any time of day. Because we know, if I was to look at this at 10 minutes, right? If I'm just looking price action, there's a nice little candle here that's indicating that there could be, a little bit of a seller kind of standing right here. And how I can check that is, let me see if I can make this little color more aggressive. If you look at this, right, I just grabbed that indecision candle here, and I'm looking to see, the price went there, and then look where it came back, right to that level where the seller was initiated, and then they sold it back down a little bit. But this is after hours, so, or maybe it's not. It's still inside. What did it do after hours? Okay, so it's back in that level here, and you see again, it came back inside, had a quick sell-off. So maybe if you're able to reclaim that and get out of this as well, because it's over 215, which is pretty good. So yeah, over 215, I think we can see 220 quickly on this. Now I got my attention. So this would be a VPOC here. And what date was that? Friday. Then I just checked the volume. So Saad, if he's still on, this is your value area high and low right here. This would be your value area high. This would be your value area low on trading you. And this volume though just does not look like, almost like one standard deviation, the whole thing. I just don't like it. I'll just keep the VPOC here. Then we had a nice one here. 230, double here. Two. Another VPOC here. Need to stay consistent. Sometimes I use the word, sometimes I use. So there's a strong chance, guys, tomorrow morning, and you can write this down and let me know if the market plays out this way. If you reclaim this 2.15 level, then we're going to go to this POC tomorrow. And watch this tomorrow on the video. You'll see. All right. Anyone else? Any short requests? All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go try to catch some sleep. If you guys come up with any questions or need some help, just let me know. Ask me. Don't be shy to ask questions, please. That's literally what I'm here for.
Real quick, Shorty, what are your thoughts on Zim the Stock? Zim.
ZIM?
Yes, sir.
I heard somebody post it. Whoa.
Yeah, Flipper put us on that one a couple weeks ago. A week ago, probably. nearly a $20 dividend.
Let me tell you what happens, or you don't want me to ruin your party?
Let's hear it.
There'll be an offering within a week or two. They're going to announce an offering on the stock. And you're going to buy all those shares because the dividends, and then those idiots tell you, thank you so much for funding. We're going to be doing an offering. Yeah, this is an offering setup chart right here. I would not buy this even with somebody else's money. You see this? You know what I would do to this tomorrow, or what I will do to this tomorrow?
What's that?
Short the fuck out of it.
Oh
Why?
boy.
Every time it came back to the middle. Every time it touched, it came back to the middle before touching again forward. And it'll be coming. And I mean, even if you do the, like here, regression channel. Oh, let's see, why isn't that working? Okay, maybe it doesn't want to work. Oh, there it goes. This is a daily regression channel, so it stepped outside on this one. So on a weekly, let's look at the 3 days. Doesn't have enough data to compute 3 days, but there's a gap here, man. So we have 1 day and 17 hours left on this 3-day candle. How's the weekly looking? Yeah. I honestly think it's going to come back down. I mean, even if you use fibs here, let's see. I just broke the 1618. Usually stuff doesn't break it and just continues. It needs to come back. Yeah. I mean, I'll watch it tomorrow.
Just got a price target of 110 the other day, so that's I was on the.
Oh yeah, this is definitely going to be announcing a split and not split, an offering. Who did it?
I'm honestly not too sure. Just Flipper had sent that in the Discord. I asked for it and I didn't receive the information. I wasn't curious myself.
What? So am I reading this right? Okay, so they're some kind of shipping company, some kind of container.
Right, exactly.
Oh, look at this. So when was this? June 4th. Let's just go back. Let me make sure this is 2021. Yep. Let's go to June 4th. Here goes June 4th. Let's find the exact day. So this is where they announced the offering right here. So this is the last offering that they announced, and stock went down. Let's call it 40. It went to 34 on a 40 share offering. So that news, I don't like that. And if they're buying these vessels, I mean, as I'm reading, additional 7, but I don't understand these TUs or whatever the measurements are. buy 7 vessels. About 320 mining dollar. Okay. So this was October. Yeah, just be careful. To me, it looks like an offering play here. And it seems like the company's from Israel or whatever. And I know they're having a little bit of conflicts and some shooting. So I would just be careful on this. There's a lot of buy on this one, but I would just definitely be careful. You can come back to here. I don't know if you're playing shares or what you're doing, but
Yeah, I'm playing shares. Not playing
what's
any
your
options on it.
what's your cost average?
71, I believe.
Yeah, I'll probably come back to that level. So here's your, okay, this is a picture perfect order. Watch what happens. Here, I'll leave this for you on this chart. Watch what happens here. Whoop, and then go higher. So, I mean, and this is a tweezer top on 1 hour. See this? This is a pretty nice tweezer top. Let's see, 2 hours, hammer. So if you want to short it to protect your shares, 81.44. So now you can enjoy the VPOC lessons on this one because it's going to have literally a ton of them. VPOC. Whenever there's more than 3-4 VPOCs, it's going to come back to hit every single one. If you don't believe me, go check Ford.
Now, do you think this is something you could get burned in holding in the long run? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, this is, so think about it. In March 20th, there was a company, tanker company, right, for oil and gas. You guys remember? Starts with them. No, I forgot what it was. You can take a look at this one, for instance, TK. In 2008, I'm sorry, in 2020, when the shit happened, right? Let me show you here. Let me go find it. Look at this. When that happened, look at this movement from 2 to 5. I mean, 100% move. And the same thing happened. I guess I charted this thing before. Same thing happens to these because these are like once in a blue moon jumps. Do you think companies like Walmart and all of these guys are actually not going to squeeze these guys to death and be like, hey, dude, you're charging me a little bit too much? Yeah, just think about it, how much influence the retailers have over the ship. So I personally would not hold it, but that's just me. So I would definitely want, I mean, you can watch it, but I just don't. I think it's, I don't know what's the float on it. You should check the float. See, you know, how many shares are being traded, how many are outstanding, because this looks primed to come back. I mean, you don't see this often. Let me just remove this channel. I mean, that just does not look normal when you think about it, right? The last time it had similar run, you see this? I'm just trying to give you kind of like heads up a little bit. 24 run. See. You had 24% run. And then if you take your fibs, not that. If you take your fibs, where did I grab it from? Here somewhere. And you see where it went to 61.8. So it went from 75 all the way to 66, about $10 drop. And then if you go from here to here, your 61.8 would be a 74, which would be about $10 drop. Most likely you're going to come back here, which lines up perfectly with what?
What's that?
Lines up with the channel perfectly here. So the 61.8 will be a fib and also POC, multiple POCs, 1, 2, 3, plus the 61.8. So just because they're profitable doesn't mean how's their cash flow, right? So if you look at their cash flow, and if these vessels, how much they're costing, they bought 7 somewhere. Where was the deal? They bought some vessels. Oh, okay. 800 million chartering deal for 13. I think we saw somewhere that they bought it. If you look at it, there goes 7 vessels for 320 million. So each vessel 50 million. It's really capital heavy, right? Business. Buying the ships one time, the maintenance on them, and then the gas. So you really got to look at a little bit more between the numbers, so like your EBITDA numbers and some ratios. Yeah, just because they're profitable doesn't mean they're going to use their own money to buy boats. Just so you know, people live off of debt; they don't live off of cash. The rich people don't use their own cash. But you can definitely watch it. I mean, if this flag breaks, we can expect another crazy run. I'm pretty sure this is everywhere on retail right now that's being considered. So you can definitely watch this. I mean, I would not play it unless it breaks this high of 84 and see how it reacts to it. But be careful. I think they can pull the rug on you any minute.
Thank you. Appreciate you covering that.
Yep. So this guy's coming back 56. So this is a pretty good, if somebody wants to remember this, this will be pretty good once it reaches this level. Yeah, this will be gold here at 56. Watch the bounce on this. Because you guys see what happened here? So it's either going to bounce there or it's going to bounce heavy right here at 54. So 56, 54 is your buy area. And this guy, this looks really good. All right, guys, I'm going to go catch some sleep. Good night. We'll get them tomorrow. We'll trade some stuff. I think my account, I think I wrote it. I think it's at an evil number, 1,666, the 1K account. So tomorrow the goal is to get it over 2,000 or close to 3,000 tomorrow. Looking for 100% gain on it tomorrow. So we can kind of start stepping towards the PTD to eliminate the 25K rule on it. Okay. All right, guys. Have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you, Shorty. Appreciate it.